Good afternoon. Today is the 19th of May and this is part 6 of a slightly shambolic shuffle around the Chiltern Hills classic car show stroke vintage vehicle rally thing. I do apologise in advance if there is wind noise, if I get things wrong, if I fall over, if I get interrupted by announcements and music. I'm afraid that's just the way that it goes on this channel, hence the title of this series. So this is a very rare car. This is a 1983 to 84 Volkswagen Jetta Mark 1. I know this because my parents bought one of these 3 months after my twin sister and I were born. It's a CL model. This one is a GL. It would have had a different interior originally. They were never sold as well as the Golfs, and actually the Jettas only were sold in Mark 1 form for 4 years, 1980 to 1984. So we're not likely to see one, and you know, every time I do I get very, very excited, as those of you who've watched the Retro Rides Weekender videos over the years will know, because there's one of these, stand-up one, that always comes to the shows, but even this modified one is just fantastic. Right next to it is something that couldn't be more different. This, I think, is an Aston Martin DBS. It's a very new one. I couldn't actually tell you anything about this or what year it is. I think it must be one of the newest ones. It's got the Mercedes-Benz entertainment system in it, so it'll be very, very new indeed. Then we've got something a bit more conventional here. 1979 to 80 MGB GT. Rubber bumpers, of course. That tax is fair to suggest it's a 1980. Replica taxes, I should say. Vermilion, I think is the name of this colour. 1990 to 1991 Peugeot 205 GTI, just before they facelifted them actually. Facelift was 1990. That one's been prepared for some track action, I take it. Oh, now this is interesting. 1989 to 90 Vauxhall Nova 1.2 Pride. I imagine one of about 1 million special editions that the Nova's had. This one is still before the final facelift that occurred in 1990, so it doesn't have that indicator, sort of hazard switch that you can use to start it. That's not one of those. 1974, although it's 75 plate on this, AMC Javelin, or AMX, or whatever it is. This is, again, a very, very rare car. I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. I've heard of them, but I've never seen one, which is a delight to come to a show like this and see that sort of thing. 1995, 1996 Volkswagen Golf Mark 3. It says CL on it. Or did I read that wrong? It's had quite a few upgrades if it's just a CL. We've got some Porsche wheels on there. Ferrari F430, I think this is. I'm very bad on things like Aston Martins and Ferraris, viewers, as some of you will know. But I think that's a 430, which is nice. Next to it, I think this is the first Mark 3 Escort we've seen the entire day, which is surprising, really. Essex plate originally, so maybe registered by Ford UK back whenever it was, sort of 85, 86 when this was made. That looks pretty good. They were called, I think, the 1600i Cabriolet originally. This one I think we've maybe seen before. I think I have seen this at a show recently. I've filmed so many such Shambolic shuffles this month already that I get confused, but that is a Mark 4 GTI. I think we've seen it some like Shedfest Retro Rides Weekender. 1973-74 Lancia Fulvia Series 3. I've always wanted to drive a Lancia Fulvia. Never quite managed it, but here we are. That is rather nice. Right-hand drive ones were sold over here, but they have the same price as a Jaguar E-Type. And if you were buying something at the same price as an E-Type and it has anything like a 1.3, 1.6 engine, you might not be so keen. Next, we've got the Series 2 Allegro. Forget what colour it is. It might be sand glow on a P, so 1976, 77. This is the 1300 Super. I've driven 2 Allegros and I've driven the Van den Pla 1500, so know them quite well. They're actually nowhere as bad as people say they are. I quite like them. Jensen Healey. Don't know exactly what year this one would be. They made from, I think, 72 to 76 when Jensen went under, which was a shame because they are quite interesting cars. There's bits of everything really, bits of Vauxhall, bits of Lotus. Fascinating. This Renault Traffic. I don't know what engine this is in view. Perhaps we can look at the back and that might tell us. We've got to be a bit careful. No idea. No idea about that one either. I think we'd better just play it a little bit safe and just move on and, you know, not say anything because, well, the Mayor of London might be watching. Right, let's have a look at this Ferrari 308, the GTS instead. Yes, it's one from Magnum PI. Well, this is a bit earlier than Magnum PI. Magnum PI, the series started in 1980, and this is a 77-78. But I've just imagined Tom Selleck in Hawaii in one of these with his lovely moustache and everything. Volkswagen Type 3, I think this is. 1967-68. I always get confused about these sort of attempts to replace a Beetle that never quite happened. And then look at this, a Mini Clubman Estate with fake wood all the way down the side, and that is a lime flower interior. What example do you want that's more typical of the 70s than this? Registered Southampton originally, CR was an old Southampton plate. Oh, another Bristol. Now I forget the model name for this. I think it's called a 411. This one, on a J, so 1970 to 71. One of the most luxurious cars available at the time, and so much more subtle than a Rolls Royce because most people just don't know what these are. Sort of thing, if I had unlimited money, I would like to own a Bristol, but I don't know if that'll ever happen in my life. 1978 to 79, Ford Escort Mark II gear. I imagine this will probably be a 1.6 gear. As you can see, it has the high spec front end and the facelifted grille, so after 1978. Yeah, it's a 1.6 gear. Essex plate, so maybe originally registered by Ford UK themselves, I don't know. 1999 to 2000, Alfa Romeo 145 1.6 twin spark. These are rare cars. I think it's something like 150 of these are on the road or something at the moment. Obviously I drove one many years ago, belonged to Mr. Richardson from the Furious Driving Channel. This is a 2000, it's a Cloverleaf. And another Lancia Fulvia. This is an HF Fulvia, it's got a more powerful engine. Similar era to the other ones, 73, 74. 993, 911. Now these are really sort of coming into their own now, though prices have dropped recently a little bit, like they have for a lot of classic cars. And the rear wiper is still intact, which is what we like to see. 93, 94 on an M. There's the back of that Fulvia. And a Toyota Mark II, 1997, 1998 on an R. Never, of course, officially imported over here. We just got the ones that have been imported from Japan. From Weasel Works. So two Escort Cabriolets. This is a Mark V and that's a Mark IV. We'll look at this one first. It's the older car. I think these wheels are correct actually for the age and era of the car. I've got Recaro seats. This was a turbo cabriolet or something, or was it just a nice one? Let's take a look. I don't know, it's tennis bits on it. 8990. And then the next one, Mark V, which was massively derided when it was launched in 1990. The 1991. Come on, autofocus, sort yourself out. Yeah, you can see the interiors of things are a bit more different. There's a lot more equipment and things on here. We've got 4 electric windows or something, for example, in this one, which is interesting. I'll leave it up to you. I mean, those are, I think, Escort Cosworth wheels on this. I'll leave it up to you to decide whether you prefer the one on the left or the one on the right. Late NAMX5 here, 97, 98 on an R. The Mazda logo we used today didn't actually come in until I think late 98. This is the Berkeley edition, or Berkeley I think it's supposed to be called because that's the name of it, place in America. Yeah, it's an original use-spec car. Ford Mustang 1967-68 on an F. And then something really rare, a Citroen GS Palace C-Matic, 1974-75 left-hand drive, probably imported then this. And no, it doesn't belong to Ian Seabrook. The thing he's got is a GSA, which is a little bit different from this. The GSs didn't have a hatchback and they were launched in 1970, I think. The GSAs came later. There's the front of that Mustang. MG Midget, this one is rubber bumper one, 78, 79 and a T. I think this is Vermilion, this colour. Yeah, sell £5,500, called Steve on 07803 887 600. Rebuilt by previous owner in 2021. That doesn't seem like a lot of money for one of these, but I mean, I could be wrong. It's not perfect or anything, but it's quite nice. Mini pickup, 1978 to 79, same as the Midget. Very late Mark 1 Transit. Now these, if they were a V6 or an engine we can't talk about, would have not a flat front end, but have like a sort of a bulge at the nose. So this is a petrol one. 75, 76. The Mark IIs came in 1978, I think. Another one of these Mustangs. I think this is for sale. What's a car for sale here today? All sorts of things. Mr. Bill will be doing me proud. A straight 6, 1968. Cool 01923 264410 Chipperfield, but somewhere kind of up near Watford, isn't it? From what I remember. Yeah, excellent. Come from Florida originally. Another early bay window. I've never seen so many early bay window Volkswagens in my life as here. There's loads of them. This is a 69. Then we've got an early R129 Mercedes-Benz SL here. Take a look at the back in a moment and see what model this actually is. This one is quite an early one actually. They came in 1989. It's the 500 SL, so that was the top of the range at the time. I think the 600 was a bit later. TVR Tuscan 2001, as in Swordfish. I never understood why in Swordfish they have this UK registered TVR in it. It's a strange film anyway, but the car's even stranger. Why it's in there, I don't know. Odd. 1989 to 90 BMW 30. BMWs are no way as common at this show as they were at Shedfest Retro Ride Weekend. They're no way as common. Don't know what it tells you about shows, but there we go. 89 to 90. Oh, viewers. 1988 to 89. Jaguar Sovereign V12 Series 3. Yes, until 1993, they didn't actually put the V12 in the XJ40 because they hadn't engineered it to actually fit the engine yet. But eventually they did. I think Ford gave them some money to do it. But until then, they kept making the Series 3 like this with the V12 engine. The Daimler ones are even nicer in my opinion. Very late Mark 1 Triumph 2000 here, 68, 69 and a G. This could be a car registered by Triumph themselves actually, because it's a Coventry plate. I thought it actually would have had some more rubber on the overriders. It was a sort of facelift, sort of an early facelift Mark 1 like this. But there was obviously a much more comprehensive facelift a bit later the same year, but there was a tiny facelift at about 66, and that doesn't have that sort of, I think it should have a little override in the middle. It doesn't have that, but never mind. 19 whatever it is, 50s Land Rover Series 1, and then a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 1998, 1999. I have no idea how much these are worth actually at all. This is sort of a bit later than Jurassic Park style ones. So yeah, call 07761 291 298, £8,500. Is that a good price? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. 1983 to 84 Mini, advertising a show at Launton. I don't think I'll be able to make that, I'm afraid, but it's nice for someone to think about me anyway. Triumph Spitfire. This is probably quite an early one actually. It's a non-suffix plate, so it could be a really early one. Came out in 62, I think. And then a couple more, so there's actually 3 more Fords here. Mark II ST by, is that Dream Science Motorsport? Excellent. Lovely 5-cylinder Volvo white block in that, which is an engine I'm very much a fan of. I've owned 2 cars with that engine, both Volvos. 1983 to 84 Ford Fiesta Mark II. Let's have a look at the dashboard and see if this is the poverty spec one or the higher spec one. Yeah, that is the poverty spec dash. So it'd be like a Popular or an L or something in there. Maybe a 1.1 originally. And then a late Sierra. This is I think 1990 or onwards, with the sort of smoke rear lamps and things like that. And the more modern dash. Got the Type 9 gearbox in there. And we've got some headlamp wipers. That'll be, yes, 1.8 GLX it was called. Then next is the Mark III MR2 or W30 MR2 they're called. 2002. I have driven one of these. It was a very early one. It was a 2000, which was the first model year they got imported over here. A lot of fun, although not the stiffest car I've ever driven. My camera mount kept falling off the windscreen, which was not so much fun. Then next to it, an FB Victor Super. These were made between 1961 and 1964. They had a terrible reputation for rust at the time, like all Vauxhalls did. But this one, it looks pretty good. Rover P5B, not the first one we've seen today, and possibly not the last one we'll see either. This is a saloon. It's a 1968, a very, very early P5B. Very early indeed. I think this was about the first year they manufactured the V8 engine P5s. And then we have a look in the back and we can see we've got
1960.
well,
60.
Beige leather interior with wood, because of course we have. I have driven one of these. It was 73 the one I drove, one of the last ones. It was fun. Austin Cambridge. This, I believe, with those big fins, is an A55 Mark II Cambridge, which means that it's one of the earlier types of this Farina shape. Yeah, the grille would give that away as well. So I think before sort of 61, an early one. Mark II Ford Escort estate, although the rear bodywork is that of the Mark I as well. They decided not to re-engineer the bodywork for the estates and vans. 79 to 80. I don't think we can talk about this Citroen C6, unfortunately, viewers. I'd like to, but rules are rules. Yeah, can't talk about that. Right, Lotus Elan. This will be, I think, maybe a Series 3 or later, possibly. Let's have a look at the back. Yeah, 67, 68. I think that's a Series 3. TVR Cerbera. Probably about 1999, maybe later. That's got the sort of later rear lamps on it. And no, we're not allowed to talk about the person who owns some of these scimitars, because that collection is banned on this channel. But this scimitar is with the 3-litre Essex engine, 1970-71. Oh, it's for sale as well, this Mercedes-Benz 560 SEC, I think they call these. Let's just see on here if it's got some information. Let's actually say what year it is. 14995. Registration numbers worth about £2,000. 1990 this one is. Oh, hang on a second. Beige leather interior with wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. Glad I actually looked at the information sheet, because I wouldn't have been able to get the registration year from that personal plate. Corvette. I think this is a C4 tuned port injection. Not sure what year that is. By that plate, I'd say about 1988-89. And another Ford Popular slip and bag. How many of these are there here? I mean, given they were Britain's cheapest car in the mid-50s, I would suggest that people would have disposed of them quite easily during the 60s and 70s, but Apparently not. Apparently there are plenty of them still around. They're all here. 1995, 1996 BMW E36 328i. I haven't seen too many E36s today in comparison with the rest of the shows you've been to this month. So, you know, there's something, I suppose. 1973, 1974 Citroen DS. That looks, well, it looks rather nice actually. It's relatively late. I think production finished around 1975 for these. And it's the 23, which was the most powerful engine. More interesting for me though is this Volvo 480 ES. Having owned a 460 myself, which is based on the same platform as these, I do enjoy these. They handle really quite well. They're much better than a 460 for some reason, although they're based on the same car underneath. This is a late pre-facelift one. It's 1992, 1993 on a K. And then another green MX-5. Green was a very popular colour for these. It seems like you see tons of these actually. This one is UK Market 1. 1995, 1996 on an N. And then another absolutely enormous American thing. This is a Chrysler from 1956. I wonder what model it is. Or would I have to guess? Maybe I'll just have to guess. Yeah, no idea. And then is this a Ford Maverick? Yes, it is a Maverick. Someone's put a V8 in. I don't think you could get a V8 Maverick from the factory or anything. 74, 75 on an N. I think the Maverick was supposed to be sort of one step from the Pinto, but I can't remember now. My knowledge of American cars is appalling. 1966 Mustang. This must have been imported years ago. If it's a 1970 to 71 plate, it would have been before 1981 because, yeah, before 1981 they just slapped whatever plate, you know, the year was when it was imported on the car. And then a Pontiac Firebird Trans Am 1985, a GTA model. So very sort of Knight Rider, although those were a bit earlier. I think most of the cars they used for Knight Rider was sort of 82, 83, even as late as 86. Ford Fiesta XR2. This one is 1986, 1987. We talked about the poverty dash on the Mark II Fiesta. This is the highest spec dash in there, particularly in the XR2 because we've got you know, a nice steering wheel and some extra gauges and things. And most of them came with these driving lamps at the front, which is good. And then a Honda CRX, or CRX Del Sol. I don't know if this is the, I think this is probably the B series engine in this. With the VTEC. This will be nice and fast. I've always wanted to try one of these. It's this left-hand, it's right-hand drive, but it's got some kind of weird plate on it. I don't really understand what the story is. Particularly, it's got a Spanish plate on it, but yeah. Badger Civic CRX over here. Yes, please. They must drive really, really well. 1992, 1993 Unos Roadster with a Minion in it. Yes, we're still seeing loads of these because you just go to a show and there they are. It's just inevitable really, but there we go. TVR Chimera. I don't know particularly why they marketed the Chimera and the Cerberus together. It's possibly because this was sort of more open top and the Cerberus was a coupe. That might be the reason, but I don't run TVR's marketing department, do I? So EF on the Civic here, 9192 registration. Finally I've worked out what the model code of these is. It is the logical one because the EGs are the next ones. Super cars, just like kind of the ones that follow them, the EGs and then the EKs and EJs. Facelifted Peugeot 205 GTI 9192 on a J. And then this 2-litre Saab 900 convertible that was having problems earlier on. Seems to have made it somewhere safe. Oh, it's a Sensonic. Wow, that's rare. Gosh, it's a clutchless manual. It's one of the only other clutchless manuals ever actually to become the market. What's that? 1995, 1996. Wow. And then an Audi I think it was called the Audi Cabrio at this stage, because the 80 had been discontinued by 95, 96. So it was just called the Audi Cabrio and was sold right away through until 2000. So just an Audi Cabrio by this stage, all based on the B3/B480. Don't know what engine is in that. Oh, and then BMX5. I'm the only one I've seen of these actually here, which is a massive surprise. The NAs are everywhere, but I haven't seen one of those yet. There we go, 2003, so quite a late one. And then Nissan Micra K11, very early one, if that's a correct plate. I think they came in early 1993, and it's a Super LX. It's a trim level I've never seen before. Hello to Luke.8n on Instagram. Another V36 here, coupe, 1997, 1998. And a big bumper Golf GTI Mark II with BBS wheels. 1990 to 1991. See, this could just be a driver or something rather than a GTI. There's something going on there. It's a GL, wow, gosh. You would have thought after all those ones I filmed over the course of the last 2 weeks that I'd get it right. But no, viewers, this is the Shambolic shuffles, and so it's an absolute shambles and it falls apart at any given moment. Chevy Corvette, I can't remember if this is, sorry, I knocked my phone really bad. It's the late 50s, I think it's called a C1, I can't remember now. Right, let's try to recover from that, viewers. Fail. Alfa Romeo 33, 1.7 Cloverleaf. I think the 1.7 was the most powerful version of 33 made, as far as I remember. Still with the older Boxer engine. This is a 1987 one, wow. And next to it there's another one. These are not common cars. These are very, very rare actually. You have to be sort of quite an alfisti to look after something like this these days. And then here's the later one. Again, I think a Cloverleaf as well. Just before the 145, 146 came out, this one 93, 94 on an L. I prefer this one because of the colour. Recaro seats and everything, probably all the extras you could possibly imagine that you'd ever need. Yeah, Boxer 4C Iniezione. And then next to it, another performance car from about the same time, 89 to 90, Lancia Delta HF Integrale, early Integrale, but still left-hand drive, because we only got left-hand drives for the Integrales even in this country. 1999 to 2000 Fiat Coupe 20 valve non-turbo. If it was a turbo, it would actually say. I have driven one of these. I drove it not too far from here. I think I drove a place called was it Luton? Yeah, Luton. I drove it. It's a blue one. It was a turbo. The only problem I had with the steering was really kind of lacking in feel for some reason. Oh, come on, full to focus. Right, Vauxhall Calibra 2 litre 16 valve. I think this is the red top engine, also similar to it. Facelifted Calibra, maybe the SE. We've got a beige leather interior, so probably an SE. There were 9 different SEs actually on the Calibras, which is crazy. 1996, 97 on a P. BMW Z3, relatively early one. I think they came in 1995, 96. Initially only left-hand drive, but later right-hand drive came along, like this one. 1997, 1998 on an R. Don't know what engine's in that. Porsche 911, probably from the mid-80s. You've got a well-tell on that one as well. Mind you, I'm actually more excited about this Vauxhall Carlton. Vauxhall Carlton Mark II with the 3 litre 24 valve cam in head engine. This looks like it's a GSI 3000 that's been modified somehow by Courtney Sport. In fact, let's have a look at this information sheet here. Yeah, it's a 1990. Ooh, mechanic converters removed. Courtney's Clubman suspension kit. Yes, please. Actually, that's really clean as well. Tasty. Oh, look at it, M100 Land too. 1989 was when they came out. This is 89 to 90, so it'll be the Series 1. I will at some point get on to driving one of these because I've been offered one. And actually chap has had a bit of a problem with it, so I can't drive it at the moment. Never mind, I'll get there eventually. 1989 to 90 Ford Sierra Sapphire. I've driven one of these actually. Drove the Great British Car Journey in 2021. They've got a 2-litre GLS one that I drove. What engines are that? I don't know. I'm not sure. I like the smoke rear lights, although I think they came a bit later. E30 BMW 3 Series, 1990 to 1991. It's not an M3 or anything. It's a right-hand drive for a start. We've had probably some fancy bits fitted to that to make it look a bit more like an M3. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and leave a comment below, and we shall see you again in the next part for even more incorrect information.